we would rather, in most cases, I think, just be single and get more dogs.
Well, men are dogs, so there's a good thing right there.
How could you tell the difference?
Well, we can tell.
And now, Cheese Wits.
It was getting the sound. Talk. Say something.
Hello, Jessica. Chris is having a colonoscopy.
Right now.
All right. Hang on.
I'm putting a turkey baster in my asshole. Along with 4 to 5 billiard balls.
Are you having both done, Chris?
Both assholes? Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I'm having the north one and the south one done.
Both poles.
I hope they wash the hose in between the oral and the anal.
Yeah, I always ask them to do the northern section first. Have you been on a restrictive diet?
Not really, no. Not really. Just the same old.
You sound
But
better.
tomorrow's going to be all liquid and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
They put me on something to kind of bind me up, I guess. So, I mean, I'm not shitting like crazy. I haven't thrown up this week.
That's good.
So, and that's from, but I did have those weird sulfur burps going to,
Yeah, those
to
sulfur
Detroit this
burps,
week.
those are the fucking worst.
Yeah, and especially when I'm letting them out on the airplane, and it just smelled like I was just farting.
Yeah, and the worst part of those, the worst part of those is when you try to like swallow them, you burp and puff your cheeks and then you try to swallow that. It's just,
no, I can't swallow that. I just got to let it out because it's coming up with such force.
It's so horrible.
I am not going to be able to masturbate to this later.
Yeah, me either.
It's probably just a wire or something unhooked or a short or some bullshit.
Probably,
Probably
but
hit something with your foot if it went out all of a sudden.
well, it's probably no. It wasn't all of a sudden. The IT guy sent me this docking station, so it probably has something to do with that.
Didn't they fuck you up last time too?
No.
It was last year sometime. I remember they didn't you get a new something last year and then they had to help you out and get it going right.
I don't think so.
All right.
Maybe I blamed it on them, though.
Why not?
Couldn't be my fault.
Fantastic. There's nothing. So now I even forget where we were. I don't even know what
We were talking about Chris and his colonoscopy.
Yeah. And he said he had. So when I was a kid, Chris said he had the sulfur burps. Have you ever had those, Jess? It tastes like you're like farting out of your mouth.
I don't.
Or you're like you're burping a matchbook up.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
No.
I've always associated that with food poisoning of some sort. But it also, I sort of associate.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah, I sort of also associate that with just shit staying in your gut too long, and it's rotted in your gut. I sort of associated with that. The body's a fucked up little fucking machine. It's a crazy bullshit. There's a different mood now, isn't there? I look at Jess. She looks very pensive. She looks very.
No, I'm sick.
No, you look pensive about the computer. Like,
No.
like you're like, this fucking thing.
I'm over it.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
You're recording. It doesn't matter.
So, today, I think Jody and I is year 36 for us today. I think
From
it's
when
year
you met?
36. Yeah. From when we moved in together and we met and moved in together.
Very good.
30, yeah, I think 36 years.
She might be able to put up with you yet.
This thing might last. I might have made a mistake and got into something that's going to last. There may not be a way out for me.
Wally, the
Let's
commitment
not-
phone.
Yeah, let's not suck each other's dick yet. Okay.
Yeah, we might have the two of us. We might have a shot. At fucking,
Listen, if this show hasn't killed it,
I'm telling you, in the beginning. No, even a couple of weeks ago, I know I was saying something. I don't even know what I say about her anymore.
You said some rude shit. I remember that.
I know. I have not rude.
It was rude.
Term of endearment.
No, you said something about her cooking.
Oh, she can't cook. She will tell you she can't cook. She makes 2 or 3 things and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, baking is a different thing. Baking she can do, but cooking, it's not great. It's not. It really isn't great. but baking good. She can, however, vacuum the fuck out of a floor. She is some kind of good at vacuuming. I'm terrible at it.
Chris, the divorce party is coming soon.
Ta-da!
I'm terrible at the vacuuming and the washing of the floor. Because it takes patience, and I have no patience for that shit. No, it's not woman's work. I do it. I'm terrible at it. I've washed.
How can you be terrible at vacuuming? The machine does all of the work.
No. The machine doesn't. I do not go over things twice. Over one time. If it doesn't pick it up, fuck it. Jody will go over it a couple times. She'll make sure it gets picked up. She does a good job at it. She'll use the various tools if necessary. She knows what she's doing. Me, if she vacuums the stairs, she gets in the corners. Me, I don't give a shit. So I'm a half-ass vacuumer. I admit it. Okay.
I'll tell you what, my stairs don't get vacuumed.
It's out in the open. See, that's what I'm saying. Jody vacuums stairs. Me, nope, not doing it. But she does. She's a good vacuumer. She's very good at it.
When they invent a robot vacuum that will do the stairs, I am buying that shit.
Oh, you know how far? How far away can they be from that?
Can't be very far.
It can't be very far. It's kind of the kind of funny thing is I know you have the robot vac or the kind of weird they made it round, don't you think? When you start thinking,
it can't get into the corners.
It can't get in the corners, and it really can't all your walls are fucking square.
Well, it has little brushes that stick out on the side so it can get your baseboards.
like a little mustache brush coming on the side.
Thin.
Look like a little lobster eating food, sucking it into its mouth. Yep. I know nobody can see my hands doing that.
Well, nobody can see your lobster either.
I'm feeling now. You don't want to see my lobster. I'm feeling a little stuffed up now. I think I might have got the bronchitis through the microphone.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you fucked me up. Listen, yep, I'm feeling a little stuffed up. So, here's something, you guys. Remember I was telling you about the Amazon pharmacy?
Yeah.
So I got I finally 6 weeks it took me to get this all transferred over. Finally got it all transferred over, getting my meds. It just it's crazy amazing. Stuff that I was paying $10 for now costs $1.34 for the stuff. But it took so long, and I was losing my mind with my doctor, because I'd say to them, send this in. They'd say, we sent it in. I'd call Amazon and say, we didn't get anything. Back and forth. So I finally went into the doctor and said, listen, you need to call Amazon Pharmacy. You need to figure this out. I've run out of this Medicaid. I ran out of the pregabalin, which is not a good thing. It turns out there's a pharmacy in New York called Amazon Pharmacy that is not part of Amazon, the big giant Bezos company.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So the doctor was sending my prescriptions to Amazon Pharmacy in New York. And that's why Amazon, the big giant company, wasn't getting the thing. But the whole point there being that for weeks, 6 weeks, they kept sending it via this e-scribe thing. But nobody fucking as a person picked up the phone to check why is this happening? They just relied on the technology to do it.
That's what they all do.
And the technology failed miserably.
Mm-hmm.
Miserably.
Which, that reminds me, my piece of shit insurance company covered, I got 3 prescriptions for this bronchitis. There's a cough suppressant, there's a steroid, and there's an inhaler. Insurance company did not cover the inhaler. which as far as I'm concerned is the MVP here.
Yeah, it is. For sure the MVP. How much does that cost?
Well,
is that one of those $342 deals?
No. The whole, I didn't look at the breakout, but the whole for all three was $70.
Oh, so probably $69.95.
I imagine it was at least $50 or $60.
Yeah, it was the inhaler.
Yeah.
Which is fucking. Have you ever looked like? So you get some meds, I get some meds. Chris, you get some meds.
Some.
So you look at some of these and you look like you see your savings because of insurance. Normally, this would cost you $572 for these 30 little tablets, and you're going to pay $10. What the fuck is going on with that? That's some kind of bullshit right there.
Yeah.
That is some kind of bullshit. $510 for a pill that's 40 years old. A medication. Yeah. It's not like it's brand new and they just fucking made it and they're fucking got, the little kids in Africa mining for some sort of fucking special herb to put into the medicine. Yeah, these guys are thieves.
The whole medical system is fucked up. And the fact that an insurance company can dictate your care in the first place. Like,
right.
I finally got the referral I had been waiting for the sleep specialist.
Yep.
Because the insurance company wouldn't allow me to have the one medication I found that helps me sleep. And so I went in for the consultation. They said I needed a sleep study. They contacted the insurance company. The insurance company immediately denied it. So they went through the appeals process. Insurance company denied it again. God. So what they had wanted to do was the lab sleep study where I go in their little fake bedroom and they attach all the wires and shit and then monitor me, which guarantees I wouldn't sleep at all.
Right.
Ding.
And what they ended up approving was a home sleep study where I am relied upon to make sure I'm connected properly to this gadget that you wear around your chest and then a thing on your finger and a thing in your nose. And I had to drive 45 minutes to the place to get it. And you're supposed to bring it back the next day, but I got it on a Friday. So I drove back on Monday to drop it off and it didn't collect any information because something wasn't pushed in all the way. So I had to bring it back home and drive it back there again the next day, 45 minutes each way.
You should have called me because with technology, I'm a whiz. I could have helped you with that.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You should have got on the horn.
Had I only known.
Had you only known the depth of my expertise.
Well, no, that had I only known I had done something. And I said to them, is there some sort of alert that I should be looking for that tells me it's not hooked up right? No.
Couldn't you just worn an Apple Watch and brought it in and said, here's my Apple? Yeah, couldn't you just bring that in and said, all right, looks like you had a restless sleep for 4 hours.
I have almost, the one thing that setup did that this doesn't do is tell you how much effort it takes you to breathe.
Right.
That's the only thing my watch doesn't do that their shit does.
Yeah, Jody has, I don't know what she's got. She wears something too. It's not an Apple Watch, but it's something. And she'll say, this thing says I was up at 2:00 this morning and I was not sleeping well. And I slept really good last night. And then the night she doesn't sleep, she says, it didn't even tell me anything about my restless sleep. And fuck, you know what? If I wake up and I'm tired, I know I didn't sleep good. So that's how I do it. This morning I woke up, I felt like I fucking run over by a truck.
Me too.
Oh man, yeah. Well, you got a reason though. You're sick like shit. You're sick. I just, man, I am. So you are not. I am. When I am sick, I'm a little bit of a baby.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done anything this weekend,
right?
But lay around in bed and rest because I know that I need it.
Did you at least order your groceries, Jess?
I did. And the one thing that I wanted them to bring me the most.
What was it?
It was these Vicks shower steamers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yet they just left it completely off.
They didn't have them.
But also there's a couple of other things that they didn't get right. And And because once it's delivered, the way Kroger does it, once it's delivered, you can't see what you ordered. You can only see what you got. And so I don't know if it was the fact that I was lacking oxygen and therefore my brain maybe wasn't functioning on all of the cylinders, or if they fucked up. Is it possible I ordered one banana? It's possible.
Yeah, no, you did not. So, speaking as a professional, lots of times those show up as, instead of saying 1 pound of bananas, it'll show up as 1 banana. And so the person shopping for you goes, do they want a pound of bananas or do they want 1 banana? Fucking obvious she wants a pound.
Well, normally I do have to click that I want 7 bananas.
Yeah.
Or however many it is.
1 banana.
But I don't know if I did that or if they there's no way for me to see if they fucked it up.
You're going to screenshot it next time.
I sure the fuck am.
And then, see, I would not ever, Jess, want to be the person who is bringing your shit to you and it be fucked up, or be the manager of the store where someone fucked it up. Because I know someone's getting an earful of something.
But at this point, like, I started to complain and then I was like, there's nothing they're going to do. They can't refund me anything because they didn't charge me for the shit.
No, but they might give you a free delivery next time.
Maybe, but
may save you a couple of bucks or give you a $10 coupon, a $10 credit or something.
They might, but I don't have it in me,
Chris,
to be firmly worded right now.
Chris, our girl is really sick.
She is.
She can't take the time out to berate somebody on the telephone. There's a problem.
I don't know whether I can get behind this or not.
I just don't care that much right now.
Yeah, have you seen, you might want to go see another doctor and see how sick you really are. This is definitely, this is more than bronchitis, Jess.
Stop it.
Stop it. You're making me laugh.
When you're unable to pick up the phone, or unwilling, not unable, unwilling. I can understand if you were unable to. Like if you got your hands gnawed off by a dog, then I could understand you not picking up the phone. But when you're unwilling to pick up the phone.
Then I would do voice dial.
That would be so you. I had to cover my mouth. I was laughing so hard. That's yeah, you would. Yeah, I want to complain so much. I really do. And then I just feel like, who am I going to complain to? Look at this poor fucking wretch who's working here, who obviously doesn't want to be here, is just fucking treated like dirt. What am I going to say to them? And what are they going to do? They're going to jump me in the parking lot.
Right.
It's just, I really do want to complain, but nobody gives a fuck. They just look at you like, boo, boo. That's why Amazon has become my friend when it comes to ordering shit. If I could order food.
You think you can't complain to Amazon? I guarantee you can.
Oh, you can complain to Amazon. Like, I will, this whole saga with my prescription in my doctor's office and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. Fucking Amazon Pharmacy has, let's just say, let's say they have 2 million subscribers to the Amazon Pharmacy. Let's just say that. My doctor's office has, 300 patients. When I call my doctor's office, it starts this way. I call them. I get the pre-call. Thank you for calling. Da 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 da. All of our people are busy. Hold on. So then you wait 15 minutes while you listen to some fucking horrible MIDI music. Then they come on and say, okay, well, they have 3 different offices. So you tell them what office. Then you go to that office. You're on hold for 15 minutes. You finally talk to somebody. Well, we don't know what to do. Amazon Pharmacy, maximum hold I've been 2 minutes. I call them. In 2 minutes, someone picks up the phone and takes care of you. How the fuck is that possible?
Last week, I had to call the bank where my mother's mortgage is. Something happened. one of their mortgage payments that gets auto drafted. There was insufficient funds, but then it was fixed and then it wasn't. I don't know. From what I could tell, they were a couple of months behind. And so I wanted to get that fixed before, so that we can actually sell the house, not have it foreclosed on.
Yeah, sure.
And I knew that they wouldn't be able to talk to me until they had the power of attorney paperwork. So I was really just calling somebody to find out how to get them that paperwork so they could talk to me. And of course, you get the automated, how can we help you if it's this, if it's that, if it's this, if it's that. I spent 15 minutes in a circle of hell.
Yeah.
Because I had the account number, but then it said, okay, or do you want to know your account balance? No. Okay, do you want to know this? No.
Do you want to know the payoff?
By the time I am screaming representative, and that's not where, okay, for a representative, first, we need to know the last 4 digits of your socials. I don't know the last 4 digits of my mother's social security number. So I'm like screaming representative. It's not working. I'm trying everything I can. It keeps cycling me back to, okay, we need to confirm that you are who you say you are with the last 4 digits of your social security number.
Yes.
So I finally hang up. I go through all of the paperwork that I have, the will and the power of attorney and all of the paperwork, and I find the last 4 digits of my mother's social security number. Great. I call back. I go through the circle of hell again. I give the last 4 digits of the social security number. I finally get through to a person who says she can't talk to me because my name is not on the account. Here's how I can email the power of attorney paperwork, and it'll take several days for that to get put into the system where they can talk to me. And I said, okay, is there a different way for me to get a hold of you before going through this automation system from hell? She says, try this phone number. I said, that's the number I called. She said, then no, you have to go through the automation system.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what you have to do. When they call you back, write down that fucking number from the caller ID.
Well, I don't know if I will do that, but I don't know if they called me, but if they will call me, like I have to call them again.
It's fucking just, all this shit is a circle jerk. I go through this quite often with other shit too. Constantly. I was calling we got a call from the mortgage company because I told you our mortgage went up. It's like $2,300 a month now. So it went up because shit went up. But then they called us to say, have you had, we noticed that your area was declared a disaster, blah, 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 by the federal government, yada, 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 yada. And now these cocksuckers, well, would you like to defer your mortgage payment? We'll just take the interest, but your principal will continue to, will not take anything off it. They're trying to fucking fuck you at every chance they get.
Yeah.
Every fucking chance they get. Depending on what you do, and I don't know where that mortgage is and stuff, I would ask them if they have any sort of deferment program.
They do, and I saw it on the paperwork. So when I talked to my mom, I said for her to call them.
Yeah.
And tell them that she wanted,
a COVID deferment or some shit like that.
Some kind of deferment. But now she's got the money in the account to cover what she's behind on. So I told her to just tell them to take the money and figure it out. But on the other side of it, here is some good customer service when the fault was actually something I did wrong.
What?
So I ordered a t-shirt from Teespring.
Uh-huh.
And didn't notice until it said your item has shipped that they somehow had my old address. And at this point, shit's not getting forwarded from that address anymore.
Sure enough.
And so I just sent them a note and I said, I don't know how this happened, and I'm sure that there's probably nothing you can do, but on the off chance that it just says it was shipped because you printed the label and it hasn't been picked up yet, is there anything you can do? And they emailed me back the next day and said, Unfortunately, it has already been shipped, but we're going to print another one and send it to you at the correct address free of charge.
How nice.
Right? They didn't have to do that. That was, I don't know how I fucked it up, but it was my fuck up.
Well, but the advantage of talking to people, real people, who give a shit about your business and just give a shit about you being a human being.
Yeah.
I am so fucking tired of talking to, and this is, and I know I'm not the only person that does this. So this isn't about my technology, my lack of technology knowledge. I talk to them motherfucking automated things all the time. And it usually sounds like this. Fuck you, you cunt. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up, you cunt.
It's my understanding that that's all recorded.
Well, here's the other thing. I've said that.
Because I do the same thing.
I've said, fuck you, you cunt. And then I hear this. I'm sorry. That number is not available. Or we don't have that information.
I didn't understand you.
It happens to me
information
all the time. But I get infuriated so much so that I just want to, sometimes I just want to take my phone and throw it across the room. I never would, but it's in me, right? To say like, I wish I could break something right now.
Yeah,
sure. It does. It's so, this is not good. It is just not good. And I was watching something, I don't know what the fuck I was watching. It was some documentary the other day. And they were talking about AI and how there is a fear that AI is actually going to make human beings extinct. Right. That eventually just people are just, who cares? People are going to stop just doing people things. I mean, people have already a lot stopped fucking and making kids. We already know that. The population is down. The population is aging. That people aren't making kids and families as much as they used to for whatever fucking reason, whatever they're doing. And as soon as they make a broad that a guy can look at and actually, feel like he's getting laid, all these guys who can't get laid, that's it. It's over. It's all over. These guys won't be looking to get laid at all. And once women find, maybe an AI that they can have a relationship with some guy who's not a cheating motherfucker.
No. We don't even need that. We don't even.
See? There's the end of society right there.
We would rather, in most cases, I think, just be single and get more dogs.
Well, men are dogs, so there's a good thing right there.
How could you tell the difference?
Well, we can tell.
Okay. Yeah, it's just I really, really. And it's not because of my, like I say, my tech. I fucking hate all this automation bullshit. I so want to talk to somebody when I call, and it's pretty, even my insurance company, my auto insurance, but that's also where my auto insurance and homeowners insurance and life insurance, it's all through the same company. I never talk to anybody. Used to be when we got our insurance, the guy came to our house. And he sat with us when we did our homeowners and our umbrella policy and our car insurance and said, well, here's the benefit of this. Here's the benefit of that.
I've never had that in my entire life.
Yeah. Well, our Liberty Mutual guy did. Yeah. But when you're insuring, we were insuring that time, like 5 houses, a bunch of cars, a business. This guy was raking in good bucks from us. So he's coming here because he's looking at a fat paycheck. When you're dumping that kind of money into an insurance company. Now, I fucking, and they don't even have me. The last time, have you had an auto claim recently?
Just the windshield.
Yeah. My last auto claim, when someone hit me at my parked vehicle, they sent me an app to take pictures of my vehicle, send it to them, and made a decision based on that.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't even fucking send out an appraiser anymore. You do, hey, fuck you, take your own pictures. And if you take a bad picture, what's that, Chris?
I said, basically, yeah, that's it.
If you take a bad picture, you don't get the right, because you really want the fucking insurance guy to get eyes on it.
Yeah.
Because he knows the picture to take. Because like real estate photographers take some fucking great, they are expert photographers.
Yeah, you can tell when a real estate photographer has done the pictures.
Oh yeah.
And when somebody took that shit with their phone, you can tell the difference.
Because real estate, they can make a fucking single wide trailer look like a fucking palace.
Well, and they use that wide angle lens too, so everything looks like your rooms are bigger, and then they edit them so the brightness is all the way up on them.
And they know what to hide. They know at what angle and what to hide. Yeah, well, the corners here and that and there. They are so fucking good. Those fucking people. They're really good at it. Because when we used to flip, we'd look at stuff and I go, wow, that looks pretty good. You get there, you're like, what the fuck is this place? It's falling down. And you can't see it. They'll give you, even when they give you a great, it looks like a great street view. And you get there, I'm like, holy shit, they must have taken this picture 10 years ago.
There was a house that I really, really, really wanted to look at when I was looking for this house. And the price had been out of my price range, so we hadn't looked. And then eventually it came down a little bit, and we said, well, let's just go look at it and see. And it had a circular driveway, and it looked like a really pretty house. And then we got there, and it did have a circular driveway, but it was big. It was barely, like, it was tiny.
Right.
And then you go in the house, and you're immediately in a living room that was about you can't see the size of my office, but the living room is about the size of my office, which is, in fact, aside from the bathrooms, the smallest room in the house. And then it just, like, things just were lined up weird. And none of this, you couldn't tell any of it from the pictures. But once we got inside, I hated that house. Yeah,
because you go in there with an expectation of, hey, this is going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
And you get there, you're like, what the fuck? Now, when you're buying a flip, you're not so concerned because you're like, well, I'm not living here.
Right.
I want to get that photographer to take the pictures when I'm trying to rent it out.
Those were the houses that looked like, I called them the murder houses.
Oh.
You pull them up on Realtor. Yeah. Those are the ones I would send pictures to my friends, going send links to my friends, going, look at this murder house.
Yeah,
and just because it's close to downtown Nashville, they still want $1 million for it.
Yeah,
there's like a body shape in the bathtub, and they're asking $1 million for that house.
Did you really see something like that for real?
Not quite a body shape, but it was like there was something.
A ring of blood.
There was something in the bathtub that didn't look like it belonged there.
There's a ring of blood. Calgon taking me away. It was, yeah. I'm very appreciative of, or very respectful of, the folks who can take those real estate photos. But even that said, even real estate agents, there's hardly any. They come and put a sign up, and that's it now.
Yeah, my real estate agent spoiled me to the point where I've been trying to reach the woman that helped my mother buy her current house, because she wants, obviously, to sell her current house since they're in assisted living now.
Right.
The woman won't return my calls.
What?
She won't return my calls. I went on the website and said, did the little contact me form when she didn't return 3 calls, and she still won't return them. So
she's the real estate. She's not your real estate. She's the real estate agent out there. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. The one out there.
Fuck. Well, change real estate.
Yeah, no, the
agents.
one here is actually a friend of mine. If she didn't return my calls now, I would be like, what happened? Are you dead?
Well, does she work for a national company?
The one in Texas? Yeah, she works for Remax.
No, your friend.
Yeah, she works for Parks.
Yeah, you should ask her if hey, you know anybody out there in Texas? Turn it over to her. Maybe she gets a percentage of it when it sells.
Yeah, we were supposed to get lunch this past week, and she canceled because she got sick and didn't want to give it to me. And then here we are. So
a little bit of irony.
Just as assuming that we're both feeling better middle to end of this week, we'll go try that again.
And Chris, what about the move that's going on in your world?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about that another week.
Still?
Yeah.
Still going on?
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Are all the cows gone?
Is. Only some of them, but more of them are going, yes.
We have, let me tell you something, guys. We don't have a piece of snow anywhere on the ground here.
Neither
nothing. Yeah.
Very
Well, hello, Nashville. We have nothing. The pond is completely unfrozen. It's water's flown. We've got geese swimming in the pond. There's geese out on the river. There's no ice on the river. It's fucking crazy.
I just had to turn the air conditioner up higher, but I don't know if it's because of the
What?
weather or because I'm burning up.
Yeah, we
Wow.
probably burning up, but really air conditioning? What is the temperature there?
It's 61.
And you got air conditioning on?
Yeah.
Really?
It wasn't on. It was fine, but then I got too hot, so I just turned it on.
Yeah, it must be your sickness, Jess.
Must be.
What's the humidity like in Nashville? Is it humid where you live?
Yes.
Is it?
It is disrespectfully humid here in the summer.
You see, we don't get. I'm telling
in
you,
the
we don't
summer,
get any
usually
of that.
July, August, you basically have to swim through the air.
You know, I remember that when I lived in Virginia, it would be, or as they would say, they'd never say humid. They'd say it's so close. That's what they called humidity. Close. It felt like the air was.
Never heard it called that.
I have never heard that once.
Yeah, that's what they used to say. So close. It was close that it felt like the air was sitting on you. You were just sort of walking through, like you just said, walking through just hugging you. It was fucking disgusting and tough to. That can't be good for breathing either. High humidity is terrible.
I don't know. I was reading before I went back to the doctor yesterday. I was sort of Googling how to help with breathing problems when you're trying to sleep. And it said to try a humidifier. So I put the humidifier in the bedroom and it did help a little bit. Not much. I still didn't sleep at all because I couldn't get enough air, but it did help a little.
God damn. Well, I'm going to knock on some wood here. I'm happy I'm not.
The shit's going around. I just found out this morning my grandmother in North Carolina had to go in the hospital because she has pneumonia.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Well, your grand must be in her 80s.
She's in her 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And see, I would love if she's in. I would. If we ever get a chance to retire, I would like to retire to North Carolina.
Yeah, I know some other people planning to do that too.
Yeah, I think because it seems to have decent weather and less racism than South Carolina. I don't know if it does. I cannot
speak to the racism.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. It may not be racist anymore at all.
But I do have a Black friend in North Carolina. I could ask her if it's less racist there.
Could you ask your Black friend what the racism quotient is in there? Because I'll tell you, my friend Cisco, he lets me know in Virginia, racism is rampant still. Mm-hmm. It's still high on the, it's still an industry. Mm-hmm. You can still get employed as a racist in Virginia. There's not a lack of yeehaw boys driving around pickup trucks with Confederate flags. It's happening. It just is.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, my friend Cisco. I mean, you both know him. You know him, Jess. Cisco must be 69, 68 or so. Getting ready to he's raising his 3 grandchildren. Him and his wife are raising there's a set of twins. I think that they're 9 or 10. And then there's the oldest girl, I think is 14. I fucking can't imagine doing that job at that advanced age. I mean, our grandkids are here, but we're not raising them. We were early on, my grandson, but we're not raising them. My son's doing the job. But man, I could not imagine being responsible for getting 3 kids up at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for school, like taking care of everything. Just doing the whole raising, because it's tough enough when you're fucking 30.
Yeah.
Fuck it at 68 plus. Fuck that. No way.
My mom was 24 when she had 3 kids.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
And I remember being 24 and thinking about that fact and the fact that I was barely able to take care of myself.
Right. Yeah. Well, financially, it's for sure hard, but just the idea of being responsible for another human being, like when I was 24,
I mean,
I couldn't have done it.
She didn't do a great job.
Well, you did all right.
I believe she did the best that she could do, but
right.
She didn't do a great job.
But I think a lot of people were like that.
Yeah.
I don't think your mom's, even though she's got some issues beyond that whole thing. But I think a lot of people at 24, I fucking would have been horrible at it.
No, and I don't know if I've brought this up before, but something that I learned was that your brain is not even fully formed until you're 25.
Yeah, so see that?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we when I met Jody, I think I was 26. Ryan was 3. But we didn't have Cheyenne until I was 28. It was there's a huge learning curve, but I was fairly good at it. But I really found my stride. When I think Cheyenne was about, I don't know, 6, Ryan was about 12. Then you find, but then you've got experience, right? It's like anything else. Yeah. I've got 6 years of experience now. I fucking got it figured out a little bit. But 24, at 24, I was still wanting to get laid, drink beer. Right? I mean, that was the whole thing. Stay up late. I don't want to be responsible for some other little fucking cretin. I just didn't. That's a tough gig. I don't know how. And before us, your parents, just my parents, Chris's parents, that was about the age you had your family.
Yeah. 19,
20, 21, 22. But it was just a different kind of way. Those people were ready to fucking hit the road running, though. You graduated from high school, 18, 19, 20. You were fucking hitting the road running.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Also, in those days, you were basically, that's what you were raised to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Like women were raised to be mothers, and therefore, from the age that they were able to, they were taught how to do the things. Not necessarily good mothers, but
right. No,
but
and
mothers.
Boys were raised to, it was the whole. Oh, now we're getting serious here. So the whole idea of school was designed around the Industrial Revolution, right? A clock goes, a bell goes off. You go class to class or whatever. You eat now. You do. That's just like factory work. Zzz, time to go to lunch. Zzz, time for break. I mean, it's a whole thing. So girls were raised to do what you said: be moms, raise kids, wipe snot, wipe asses, make food, vacuum. Guys were be a provider, go to the factory, fucking work your 8 hours, work your 6 to 3, blah blah blah. I mean, it's so you were ready to go because that was your whole training. All school was they taught you a few numbers. Here's your alphabets. You could read a few words. You knew how to sign your name on the check when you got it. And that was it. You're ready to go. The dynamics have changed. It's a different kind of thing now. If I went back though to do it, if Jody and I went back, I would have more than 2 kids. We probably would have 4 kids. We've talked about this. We probably went 4, maybe 5 kids. Just because we fucking loved having kids, as it turns out. It was fucking a pretty good thing. And I would not have gone into radio. And for sure would have, because you can't raise kids. A lot of kids work in radio. It's just not enough money.
You can't afford to feed them, first of all.
No, you can't. I would probably want to be a teacher.
It's interesting because I thought that I wanted kids when I was younger. And when I look back at it now, I think the reason I thought that was because I thought that's what you were supposed to want.
Yeah, sure.
But I am so grateful that I didn't have kids. I really am. Not the least of which because I really feel like I would have just brought more fucked up human beings.
Right, right. So it's not in a selfish way, not like I don't want to give my time up. It's just in a way, I'm not sure how good I would have been at it.
It kind of is that too, that like I'm not responsible for any other human beings. And,
right. Well, yes, you are now.
Well,
now you got your mom and dad.
I don't believe that my birth that I didn't agree to or request or sign a contract on requires me to take care of my parents. No, of course it doesn't. But you are. Your humanity has you doing that. You're not required to, but you're going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do what I can do.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not. I don't feel like I'm responsible for them.
No.
And I mean, also the selfish reason that I am glad that there's also the selfish reason I'm glad I didn't have kids.
Just do the math, Jess. Just all you got to do, grab your calculator and say, okay, my mother probably gave me out of the 18 years she should have been responsible. She gave me about 72 hours of really good parenting. so I'm going to give her 72 hours of good daughtering. Yeah. I'll call the bank. I'll sell her house.
But I mean, there's multiple reasons I'm glad I didn't have kids. Part of it is the selfish reason, and part of it is because I would absolutely have created more trauma for some other human beings.
Well, it's also, I got to be honest, it's a little hard now not to look at my kids, but I was looking at my grandkids. I'm looking at, they're going to fucking look at some shitty kind of living that's on the horizon. I view it as it's gonna be tough. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be tough. Not in a, they're gonna be poor or they're gonna live. I just think the humanity of life is gonna change. I know this is not the stuff we normally talk about, but this is the shit that's in my head a lot of the time. That the humanity of life sucks lately. Yeah. It just does. It fucking completely does. So I worry about that with my grandkids and so forth.
Here's some shit we can talk about that goes more in line with what we talk about.
Where's Chris?
Week, I don't know. Where is Chris?
I'm right here. I'm just taking in the fucking popcorn here.
Last week, I don't even remember where I was driving, but there was a car behind me and I noticed, those strobe lights that cops have?
Yeah.
They're like next to the headlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were no red and blue lights. These were white strobe lights that were just flashing next to the headlights on this car behind me. And so that caught my attention in the rearview mirror. And I thought, oh, maybe I need to pull over and let them go by, until I noticed that this was like some scratched up gold 2001 Toyota Camry or some shit.
It is,
and I was like, I'm pretty sure even the deep undercover cops are not driving that fucking piece of shit.
Even here, the same thing. I don't understand it. The fucking these folks have these rat ass cars, but somehow they have these accoutrements attached to it. Fucking crazy ass light kits. Fucking crazy. They just got all this crazy. The car itself, the car naked, is like a $1,500 car, and they've got $8,000 worth of tires and lights.
Amps.
Yeah, and you look at the fucking wheels. You go like, holy fuck, those rims must be $4,000.
Yeah,
and then they got the low profile tires. I saw. Funny you mentioned that.
They don't even bother to paint the fucking car.
No, it's still sort of gray, and it's got the red primer and the gray primer on it, a little black dull primer. I saw, I was coming home the other day, and in the middle of one of the busy intersections, it's a 4-way intersection, there was a car just in the middle of the intersection. Its wheel, the entire wheel fell off the car. And it was just sitting on the disc where your disc brakes are, just sitting on the disc. The wheel was nowhere in sight. The young kid, and I don't want to pick on young men, but I don't know, it was probably 19 or 20. That his whole knowledge of what cars are, I put gas in it and I paid for rims, and there you go. What happened to Jess? All you need. Jess?
Jess gone again?
I'm here. Hang on.
Yeah, your picture went away.
That's all right. I'm still here.
Oh, whew, thank goodness.
I don't know what happened.
You are not having good computer days.
Nope, I'm sure not.
So what do you have to? So will you be going on? Anyways, the guy was on the side of the road talking on the phone, like just so animated. And I was just thinking, I can understand why he's animated, but he absolutely had no fucking idea what's going on. He's just looking around. And then, of course, then you get the assholes are beeping at him. Get your car out of the road. Fucking it. It's like, are you looking at his car? It's sitting on the fucking disc. He can't drive that fucking thing anywhere.
There was a car the other day where, so a lot of times when I go places, I take little side roads and back roads so that I don't have to get on the highway. And a lot of these roads are one lane in each direction and have no shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was on one of those, and there were two cars pulled over to the side of the road. It looked like one was assisting the other, but the one in the back, it was sort of crooked.
Yeah.
And so the tail was sticking out into the lane.
Yeah.
And since there was really no shoulder anyway, they were going to be in the way either way, but he was even more in the way so that you had no choice but to sort of go into the oncoming lane to get around them. And so that was annoying. And then when I came back a couple hours later, that car was still there. The other one was gone. So they made the choice to leave the car with the tail end sticking out into the road.
Was it a kidnapping, you think?
Well, I hope so, if that's how they're driving.
I will not. Now, I used to be the guy who would stop to help. I will not do that anymore.
No.
If I see broke down people, I'm like, sucks to be you.
No, but also these days, everybody has a phone. They can call somebody.
Well, most of the time they do. But just even then, I don't even care if you have a phone. I'm not
there's
stopping.
Too many. Have you guys been seeing the news about that kid, Riley Stain or whatever his
name is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wandered off in downtown Nashville, and they're dragging the river for him now.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this 22-year-old kid, they think now maybe he got roofied because his friends are all saying that he didn't drink any more than usual and he never gets so obliterated. But there's video of him. He said they asked him, they said he got overserved at this bar, Luke Bryan's bar, and they kicked him out. And then his friends said that they weren't allowed to go out that same door. So they went around the front door. And by the time they got around, he was gone. And then he said he was going back to the hotel, but the video footage from like street cameras and stuff shows him walking in the opposite direction, going toward the river and stumbling and like clearly has no idea where he is. And then nobody's seen him since. It's been like a week.
He's in the river, ain't he?
Oh, dear.
I mean, they're dragging the river. They're looking for him.
Yeah.
But they're thinking that somebody might have roofied him.
I'm not sure about that overserved thing. What I'm not sure about that is it's I know you shouldn't serve people because my daughter bartends, and you shouldn't serve people if you think they're if they're drunk or it looks like they've had too much, and usually they get belligerent when you do that. But
you also don't know if somebody else bought around and brought
right.
it to
You don't know if they did the pre-bar drinking like everybody does.
Yeah.
But so much of what you put on other people is, hey, I don't want to have the responsibility of fucking monitoring myself. So you do it, and if you don't do it, I'm going to sue Luke Bryan.
Well, because
that's what's going to happen.
He is 22, and so again, his brain is not fully formed.
Yeah, but someone's going to sue the Luke Bryan bar when they find his body because they overserved him because they've already brought it up.
Luke's has video footage that shows that, they did not overserve him. So
yeah, well, it's just
I don't know what the true story is. I just know that this poor kid and his family.
Somehow they got a person behind the bar who's 22, right? And they're supposed to know if you've drank too much.
Yeah, there's all of this stuff online about how many people get roofied at Luke Bryan's bar, and then there's Jason Aldean's bar. Jason Aldean has a bar too, and they're like across the street from each other or something, and people get roofied there too. But it's not the bars; it's happening everywhere downtown. They don't tell you this when you're planning your bachelorette parties in downtown Nashville. This is not a safe place. Yeah. This is becoming like Memphis, except instead of getting stabbed or shot, you're going to get roofied and or kidnapped.
That's fucking ridiculous, right? Yeah, I know. Even in downtown Portland, Portland is not a big downtown, but the same shit is going on. Mm-hmm. It's just the same shit. The same shit's going on everywhere. It's not just there. But man, it would be terrible if downtown Nashville turned into downtown Memphis.
Yeah,
that's a shithole. That is a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
know. I always had fun on Beale Street, but also I always recognized that I needed to keep my wits about me.
Yeah. How old were you when you were living there?
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So still, I think so. Even though we probably don't want that, 10 years makes a big difference in your sensibility, right?
Well, I mean, it
in
does.
the way, just in the way you want to look at it and see it, and all.
But
that.
I had also been going to Memphis almost annually for St. Jude seminar and going out on Beale Street.
You had built a tolerance up.
Do what?
You had built up your tolerance.
No, but I had an idea. I had an idea what to pay attention to and what to look for.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily make me safer than anybody else, but I also didn't wander around Beale Street by myself at any point. You know, I took precautions. And so then when I lived there, I still thought it was a fun place to go once in a while, but it wasn't, I didn't go regularly. And when I did, again, I was never by myself.
In the late 80s and early 90s, I went to New York City a lot through radio stuff, all kinds of shit, Bobby Poe and conventions and go see artists and, you know, payola trips and shit like that. And New York City, you'd be in downtown Manhattan, and it was fucking not a super safe place back then. It was before Disney-ification, or right in the beginning of it. But you learn, you don't fucking go out by yourself. You stay in groups. You stay in the confines of whatever the organization that's sponsoring it is having. That's where you go.
Yeah.
You go have fun in that context. And if you're going to go do something, do it in the day and do it with a group of people. You don't go out at night when the fucking, the freakazoids are out. Now, Chris, you do a lot of that. You're out a lot now. What is your take on it? Are you in the hotel room at the end of the festivities? Chris? Look at him. He fucking abandoned us.
But he's still there.
No, just his phone is there. He's taking a shit.
Chris, are you shitting? Are you on mute? Are you shitting on mute?
He didn't want to be embarrassed by the sound he's emanating. Where did he go? I'm very disappointed in you, Christopher.
Chris, are you still with us?
Something there.
Happened.
Chris?
Yes.
Where you been?
I've been right here.
Well, why don't we hear you? We're talking to you.
Saying your name for 5 minutes.
Have you really?
Yes.
Fuck, it must have cut out, or I fell asleep. One of the two.
Well, wondering. So Jess and I were talking about her hanging out in Memphis, me hanging out in New York, and just you don't go out. You don't go out when you go to these conventions and shit. You don't go out on your own at night. You stay with the program and the events. What are you doing? Because you do a lot of solo, right?
Well, when I went to New York last time, I went out in Times Square for a little bit.
Well, you can now, right? Times Square is so Disney.
Because the hotel was in Times Square, so it was like, our Hell's Kitchen right next door.
Right.
So, that was nothing.
But Hell's Kitchen is a lot of gentrification, isn't there?
Well, yeah, totally. And, Vegas is Vegas.
Yeah.
So, when I got to Detroit, I didn't dare step outside of the fucking airport.
See,
I went straight on to Lansing, and Lansing, that's a city for, you don't leave. You don't go to Lansing. You just are kind of there, and then you stay.
But now maybe this is a men versus women thing, but I would not walk around outside Vegas by myself either.
Really? No, a lot of people do. A lot of women do.
I'm sure a lot of people do, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel very safe in Vegas because there's fucking cameras every 2 inches in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas to spend any time, or I've never gone to gamble. Is Vegas really family oriented now?
No, that was a phase they went through for a few years when they started trying for the amusement parks and shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, that's not a thing anymore.
They're just back to stealing money.
Basically, yeah. And there's a lot of food, but there's still, your what's it called? The Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, all that sort of bullshit.
Right. Yeah. I the worst city, I got to tell you, the city I felt the least safe in. Well, there are two: Houston, Texas. And Des Moines, Iowa. I know. my time it was a fucking shithole. It was just and it might have been just the area I was staying in Des Moines, but this is a place where I actually went there. I went there with Cheyenne, and we went to Des Moines. I booked a hotel online. We got to the hotel, walked to the room, opened the door to the room, closed the door to the room, went back, dropped the key off at the at the desk, and left, and drove 2 hours to fucking just can't remember where, but booked another hotel online and got a great hotel and left. It was it was so sketchy, and there were fucking it looked like meth heads everywhere. This was 15 years ago or 10 years ago, but it was it was probably one of the worst, I would say. And I've traveled a lot across the country, a ton. I've been in a ton of places. It was a shithole, I will say. And Houston, I'm like you, Chris. When I was in Houston, I would not leave the airport.
Yeah, Houston, I didn't feel was a bad area, is it?
The Houston airport is A, huge. B, it's too much bad news was coming out of Houston back then.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Houston was like one of those top 5 murder places. Crack was heavy back then. Yeah, so
makes sense.
I stay indoors a lot when I go traveling.
I mean, I don't blame you.
I don't, and I stay with the program. Plus, Jess, you can't go out as a woman. You can't, unfortunately.
No.
Girls can't walk alone. Listen, nobody can walk alone, particularly girls, but women. But nobody can walk alone. Yeah. It's too fucked up.
All right, you guys, I think I got to go lay down. I feel terrible.
I'm sorry.
You know what? You don't look terrible.
Well, thank you.
Just so you know, you're looking okay. I have noticed that you took off your didn't you have a sweater on or something early on?
I had a hoodie on. But
yeah, that came off. All right, yeah. Feel better, kid.
All right, you guys. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye.
All right, talk to you later.